Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the biology class. Today I am going to discuss about the search for genetic material. In our previous classes, we have discussed about the central dogma. See, the central dogma, which is the unit of molecular biology, and the genetic information flows from DNA to RNAs and from RNA to proteins. And also we have studied about the packaging of DNAs in prokaryotic organisms and in eukaryotic organisms. And also we have studied about the chromatin, the non-histone chromosomal proteins, which is the NHC, and its types euchromatin and heterochromatin. See, the chromatin, which is the thread-like structure, and it has colored bodies. And in this class we have to discuss the search for genetic material. See, even though the discovery of nuclein by Miescher and the propositions for principles of inheritance by Mendel were almost at the same time, and that the DNA acts as a genetic material, and it took long to be discovered and proven. See what happens here, the search for genetic material, it is the one of the transforming principle. Here the so many scientists were discovered about the genetic material while transforming characters. See, now the most important question, which molecule is the actual genetic material? So till now we discussed about the DNA in details, because how was it proved that DNA as a actual genetic material, and how does it transfer the characters from one to another? So about the transforming principle, the so many scientists were discovered and gave their theories about transforming principles. See, the first time Thomas Morgan, he gave chromosomal theory, and it is a very important in inheritance. And also he spoke about the gene and chromosomes. And two more scientists, Boveri-Sutton. See, it is nothing but the Boveri-Sutton theory. They also gave the theory about chromosomal level of inheritance. And Morgan also gave information about linkage and recombination. But what happened here, all was known that the genetic material somewhere inside the cell, or somewhere inside the nucleus of the cell, or it is somewhere in the chromosomes. See, which molecule in chromosome, that was not sure. See, actually the transforming principle, the first time it was proposed by the scientist Frederick Griffith in the year of 1928. So in his experiment, he took one of the bacteria, that is the Streptococcus. See, experiments performed by the Griffith on Streptococcus pneumonia. See, he took two varieties of strains. One is the R strain and S strain. Here the R strain, it is a rough strain, and S strain, that is the smooth strain. See, in his experiment, he took mice also, because the Streptococcus pneumonia he inject into the mice. See, the experiment which is performed by Griffith on Streptococcus pneumonia, while the bacterium responsible for pneumonia, so it is called Streptococcus pneumonia. See, it has the two types of strains, R strain and S strain. See here the difference between S strain and R strain. See, the S strain produces a smooth colony on a culture plate. See, the Griffith took one of the culture plate and grows the bacteria in differently, because of he took two strains of bacteria. And the S strain produces a smooth colony on a culture plate, and R strain produces rough colony on that of the culture plate. And S strain produces a polysaccharide coat. This is nothing but the mucus coat. Here the polysaccharide. The saccharide, it is a sugar molecules. Poly in the sense many. So the S strain produce more number of sugar molecule coat, that is the mucus coat. But in the R strain, there is polysaccharide coat absent. And the S strain, it is a virulent, and R strain, it is a non-virulent. Because of the reason, S strain produce polysaccharide, so it is a virulent. and R strain does not produce any mucus coat or any polysaccharide coat, so it is a non-virulent. So when Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria are grown on a culture plate, some produce smooth shiny colonies while other produces rough colonies. This is because S strain bacteria have a mucus or polysaccharide coat while R strain does not. Mice infected with the S strain, that is the virulent, and die from pneumonia infection, but mice infected with the R strain do not develop pneumonia. See what happens here? Mice infected with the S strain, because of S strain itself produce the polysaccharide coat and which is a virulent, and the S strain die from pneumonia. But the mice infected with the R strain do not develop pneumonia because polysaccharide coat is absent in that of the R strain, and while it is a non-virulent. And see, this is the picture Griffith did in his experiment. He took mice and he took S strain and inject into the mice. Mice died. And again he took R strain, inject into the mice. Mice live. See in this, the first picture, what it says? He took R strain bacteria, inject into the mice. Mice live, which is the blue in color. And second, which is the red, he took S strain, inject into mice. Mice die. And again he did two experiments because of Griffith was able to kill bacteria by heating them. See here the third picture. Again he took S strain, heat killed, and inject into mice. Mice live. See in this, the first picture, what it says? He took R strain bacteria, inject into mice. Mice live. And second one, he took S strain, inject into mice. Mice die. Because of the reason, S strain it is a virulent and R strain it is a non-virulent. Because of the reason, S strain it produces polysaccharide coat, but R strain doesn't produce any mucus coat. And the third picture, Griffith was able to kill bacteria, so he took S strain, he killed, inject into the mice. Mice live. And again he did one more experiment. He took S strain, heat killed, and mixed with the R strain live, inject into the mice. Mice died. See here, S strain, inject into the mice. Mice died. R strain, inject into the mice. Mice live. So Griffith was able to kill bacteria by heating them. So he observed that heat killed S strain bacteria injected into the mice did not kill them. So when he took S strain, heat killed, and inject into the mice. Mice live. So again he did one more experiment because of he was able to kill bacteria. So he took S strain, heat killed, and mixed with the R strain live, inject into the mice, and mice died. So totally he was concluded that means experiment performed by Griffith, live R strain in the presence of heat killed S strain should not have killed the mouse. So when he injected a mixture of heat killed S and live R bacteria, the mice died. Moreover, he recovered living S bacteria from the dead mice. Totally, he concluded that the R strain bacteria had somehow been transformed by the heat killed S strain bacteria. Some transforming principle transferred from the heat killed S strain had enabled the R strain to synthesize a smooth polysaccharide coat and become virulent. So, the totally experiment performed by Griffith, live R strain in the presence of heat killed S strain should not have killed the mouse. So, somehow the bacteria produce virulence, and this is because somehow the R strain bacteria are transformed by heat killed S strain bacteria, and the transformation must be due to the transfer of genetic material.